Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for episode number 66 of AppScan Tuesdays. And today we are going to talk about a new topic that you never heard about. We are going to introduce soon a new static analysis experience, and we are going to do that first through a technology preview. I brought Florin to the show today to talk about this. So, hi Florin.
Hey, Ethan, you have a good way of hyping up things. We're going to tell you about something we never told you about. So,
Well, some of the sessions I was talking, even last week, right? I showed the privilege escalation, which when we talked about it, you said, well, this is old. We still have that. So, yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
different now.
Fair enough. It's something that's brand new this time, right?
Yeah. I guess that very few selective customers heard about this and you work with them to build it and to make sure that it's going to serve. But now we are going broader. We want to expose it to all our AppScan source customers and let them play with it, give us feedback, so we will be ready in time to build the perfect GA for them.
Correct. So, do you want to break the news, or do I break the news of what we're going to show and talk about today?
No, I'll let you have the fun.
Finally, no one's going to spoil my items. So today what we want to talk about is a new way of performing static analysis. But when we're talking about static analysis, we're referring to automating it. And from an AppScan perspective, automating static analysis, we had a lot of good feedback from what we're doing in the cloud and the way we're doing it, the number of plugins that we have and how we're doing things there. But there were some improvements that were suggested by customers that were using the on-premise solution known as AppScan Source. One of the biggest requests was as development kind of caught speed and we started as companies pushing out more and more applications that it was a bit difficult to scale AppScan source and kind of the way it was deployed was sometimes not the most exciting experience. So what we're looking to do with this tech preview is change that. We're looking to achieve something that's easy to deploy, it's easy to scale, and you're going to have an easy time to integrate with it. Whether or not we're going to provide the plugin, we want to provide you with the tools to create an integration. So having the APIs in place, having documentation for them, having the utilities to do what you need to do to build your own integrations, it's what we're aiming here. But I think for the first phase of the tech preview, what we want to test and what we want to get a lot of feedback on will be, can you deploy this? Is it as easy as we think it is? And can you scale it the way you'd like to scale? Does it meet your requirements? And are you able to keep up with the development pace? Can you scan all those thousands of marketing applications you're putting out every single month?
Working from home, what can
Hopefully,
you
you
do?
don't put out that many applications, right? We're exaggerating, but kind of keeping up with the demands that you have for scanning. We all know it gets busy before a release. Everyone wants to scan. Everyone's going to go on that
Yeah.
SaaS service. So we want to make sure that we can build something that can help you satisfy that need.
And basically, we are bringing more of the ASOC experience to the on-prem, right? It was an ongoing process. We brought the IFA capabilities, then the common engine, all the languages, and now it's another step of simplicity that our on-prem customers are asking for. They're envying the cloud. Not everyone can use a cloud solution. We know that. So this is another step. Now, to just set the expectation on what is technology preview, if you are not familiar with this, it means that it's open for all our customers. You can go and you can download it. It's not a closed beta or anything. You can use it. From license perspective, we are going to explore some new ideas that we may later, based on feedback, change, remove. So you can enjoy it while it lasts, and hopefully the next version will be better. And that's the idea.
Yeah, and I think the important thing here is to get a lot of your feedback. What would you like to see next? How do you think it's working? And as we're going to get closer to this, we will try to reach out with some more details about how you access it, where you found it, where you find it, how to
Yeah.
deploy it, and more importantly, a list of items that would really like you to test because if we get your experience, real world experience, it will help us build a more robust GA when it comes over to that.
Cool. So we waited a lot of time for for the people that are watching. Now let's jump to this. Show us a little bit more.
For this part of the demo, we're going to use Docker. So one of the things we looked at when we were building this was how can we make it easy to deploy? How can we make sure it's kind of doing what we expect it to do and maintain that environment? And realize, well, for us, Docker is a really good example of doing that. So we created a series of services that will come together. We'll probably go into more technical details as we're getting closer to the release with the release items. But the idea is that we create an API you can access, and this API will talk with all the required services to give you access to all the capabilities that we offer with this new SAST experience. For those of you that have been using the cloud for a while, you might realize that some of these things are similar. Some of the capabilities here will be somewhat new, but we encourage you to explore all of them, to go through the entire set of APIs, poke at them, and give us the feedback that you have for us. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to run a quick scan. I'll follow the cloud model. For those of you that are not familiar with how we do the cloud, we use a local utility that allows you to generate something that's known as an IRX file, which is basically your encrypted code or some data flow that we will take over to our cloud for scanning. For this tech preview, we're going to use a similar model. So if you want to follow that process, just get a tool from here for your platform. We have this available for Windows, Linux, and Mac. You're going to generate your IR file, and we'll provide with more details about how that happens. I think Aiton and I did that in some previous sessions. And once you're done with that, what you'll want to do is upload your file. So in my case, I will pick a file that I want to scan, and I have a file ready for this exact test. So I'm going to use my test IRX file, and I'm going to upload this file to my system. Now that I have this file in my system, you can actually investigate all the running components. So if I were to go to my first component, which is my API, I think should be this one, you will see that I have some logs here telling me that the file was uploaded successfully, I have the file available, so I can now do something else with it. What the API did here gave me a file ID, the one that I highlighted. So if I want to go to the next step, I want to run a scan. All I have to do is tell the system to take this file and run a scan on it. So we'll try out this API as well. Let's use the new file we got. You are going to instruct it to run a scan for us. And here we'll return the scan ID for you that you can then query for more information. So what we're now going to do, we're going to have a quick look at the execution status of our scan. So we can try this one out. We're going to use the scan ID. And this will come back and it will tell us that the scan is still running. The analysis status is running, which means it's still in progress. If you do want to see the information about what's happening here, one thing you can do is you can query one of the APIs for the logs. We can kind of see here that it's performing analysis. It was telling me it was running when I queried the API, and now I know it's completed. If I were to query my same API again, it will tell me the same thing. It's kind of telling me what happened. It will give me a summary of what we found, kind of all the interested findings, the low findings, high severity, and whatnot, just to give you a quick overview about what we found in the scan and allow you to make a decision in your pipeline if you decide to do so. Now that the scan is run, what I can do is I can access the results in a format that's familiar with the AppScan source customers. So if we go to our API, we're going to execute this one. And we're now going to get a file that we can download. This file is a OZASMT file. It is our assessment file. It is where our results are stored in AppScan source, and it's something that you'll be able to open with your source components. So in my case, I'm going to save my file in here, in my results folder. And with AppScan source for analysis, I'll be able to open this one. So what I can then do is I can go to AppScan source for analysis. I can open an assessment that I just saved. I'll just have to pick this one from my shared drive. And now I'm able to perform more analysis on this one. As you can see, the results are in the same format as before. So for existing source customers, we want to allow you to continue to leverage your components to allow you to use AppScan Source for analysis to triage, continue to use the plugins, publish the results to AppScan Enterprise if you so choose to do. But the important thing is that you will be able to bring this new capability that will allow you to scale your scanning, run more scans on your application, and provide a centralized scanning service a lot easier and keep up with the scale that you have to. That's one of the things that we've seen over the past. Everyone likes to start small, but if you want to grow, it's very easy to deploy yet another component, yet another scanner to your queue, and then you can run more scans in parallel as you do so. This is just a quick overview of how the plugin runs and how the tech preview will run. We will provide more details with the release, and we will provide more feedback. But for those of you that are interested, reach out to your HCL folks, reach out to your HCL representatives, tell them to reach out to the AppScan team, and we'll be happy to guide you through the process when this is ready, show you how to set it up, and how to play with this in other environments. We do encourage you to experiment. It's tech preview, so if you want to deploy this in other areas, if you want to deploy this with Kubernetes OpenShift, definitely do so. I'll be happy to give you kind of the basic knowledge that we have and see if you find anything interesting that we can look at as part of our future releases.
Cool. Let's bring you back then. Cool. Thanks, Florin. That was a great demo, a great short demo of the new, as we said, the technology preview that is coming. It's coming in about 2-3 weeks, maybe less.
Yep. We will definitely try to reach out before it comes out. We will try to put more technical details on how to get this all up and running. You kind of saw just a quick glimpse of the workflow. There is a bit more behind this. You can learn more about how we scale this, all the resources you'll need to have to get it up and running. Realistically, it's hard to prove that something scales unless you're looking at what's happening in the background. But when we're going to release this, we will have more of that info available for you, and hopefully you'll be able to test that. You'll be able to scale it up, go crazy with it. Tell us how far you went and what were your results. We're really keen on knowing more about how things will be going for you. And as always, just share with us your feedback.
Yeah, and compare it with what you have today. If you, for some reason, believe that you get different results, which will be a very big surprise for us, we definitely want to know about it. Yep. How do I get my hands on it? Am I entitled to it? How do I know?
As I mentioned, we will reach out to people that are customers and have the right entitlements. But if you have access to AppScan Source, if you're familiar with the FNO, the place where you get all your AppScan installs, just go there. If you have AppScan Source for automation licenses, this will be available for you to download as well. It will come as a series of images that you can just apply to your Docker instance and be up and running in a second. Of course, we're going to give you some information about how to set this up, requirements, the README files. But basic rule of thumb is if you have AppScan Source, if you have AppScan Source for automation licenses, which is what we want to tailor for with this, then 2 weeks time, head to FNO. If you don't see it, reach out to us. Go and add a comment down below this video. Ethan is very keen on his comments, and we'll be happy to get back to you with the details how to get up and running.
Yeah, and of course you can follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn and get the updates there from AppScan. Speaking about comments, I'm not ignoring you guys. I saw the comment about having a video on IS issue details. I'll work with Ron on producing a video of that and a video of asking about AppScan Enterprise. So I reached out to Ravi, planning to record a video or two to show about the capabilities, how to build your application structure, how to import results to AppScan Enterprise, how to generate reports packs, all those. So a lot of great feedback. I appreciate that. Thank you, Florin, for coming again. Always a pleasure having you on the show.
Happy to be here.
Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.